So I recently watched a fight between Sandor Martin versus Mikey Garcia, and even though Sandor Martin is a good fighter, and I've got a lot of respect for him, I mean, I was very surprised that Sandor Martin managed to win the fight and Mikey Garcia got soundly outboxed. Now in the fight itself, I felt like Sandor Martin looked proper slick and was on a counter-punching tirade, and it looked like he was just picking Mikey Garcia out from the back. So yeah, from that perspective, I just think Mikey Garcia just didn't look like he wanted to be in there. If you look at the fight itself, Mikey Garcia looked very sluggish and he looked kind of slow and a bit pudgy around the midsection. I think there could be a chance that Mikey Garcia's lost his hunger for the sport. Obviously, he's made quite a few paydays in the Errol Spence fight. I think he did get paid a career high payday because obviously that fight was on pay-per-view. He probably got a couple million there. Against Jesse Vargas, because he joined DAZN overpaid him. I think he got like 6-7 million for that one fight against Jesse Vargas. And obviously before that he was making good money. When he fought Adrian Broner, he probably made good money as well. And I think the hunger's gone. I could just see it. He just doesn't look like he wants to actually be there. In terms of hunger, it's one of them weird things. A lot of fighters say you should be hungry, but it's not something that you can force. You either have it or you don't. And I think with Mikey Garcia, at the peak of his career before he fought Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia was seen as a top 5 pound for pound fighter. I mean, this was a guy that a lot of people thought was one of the best fighters that they've ever seen. Not one of the best fighters they've ever seen, but he was seen as one of the best fighters in the sport. And now it's an upset. Of course, it's an upset that he lost to Sandor Martin, but it's not just that. It's the fact that it was his longest layoff as well. So it's like 20 months since his last fight against Vargas. And it's just crazy. It was a majority decision loss, and he was thoroughly outboxed. And I just think Sandor Martin looked quite slick in there. He looked very impressive. So yeah, from my perspective, I just think he's in a position now where I think he's one of them fighters that I think he's just not there, like mentally. Like he just doesn't look like he's quite there. Maybe it's just he had an off night. Obviously before the fight he did look a bit sluggish and pudgy around the midsection, but generally speaking it could be that he just had an off night. But another part of me thinks that he's lost his hunger. He just doesn't seem like he actually wants to be there. And it kind of is what it is. Like you can't make a fighter be hungry. You can't get that hunger. He's accomplished a lot in the sport. He's a 4-division champion. In my opinion, I think he would have gave a Lomachenko a very good fight. I think he would have he would have gave Lomachenko a hell of a fight, especially in his prime. The one that fought Broner, like I think he would have gave him a great fight because of the fact that he has size, and on top of that he's slick as well, and he's a very good boxer. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know where he goes from here. To be fair, he could bounce back from this. He could easily find his eye of the tiger, but that's up to him to find. It's not something that he can't force it to happen though. It's something that has to happen through him doing soul searching and looking into himself and deciding whether he really wants to do this. One thing that concerned me about this was that he said that he thought he won, which I found a bit absurd because I thought Sandor Martin quite clearly won the fight. So I find it a bit alarming that he thought he won. But then again, it's obviously he has a fight against Errol Spence, but that loss was much easier to take because Errol Spence was a couple of weight classes bigger than him, and on top of that, like he's fighting someone seen as the best welterweight in the world right now. So yeah, losing to Sandor Martin was a lot worse because obviously Garcia was a heavy underdog against Errol Spence, but against Sandor Martin he was the majority favourite to win. He was a heavy pre-fight betting favourite. So for him to lose the way he did, it kind of does say a bit like it's a harder loss to take basically for him. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. I think Mikey Garcia can bounce back from this. He's one of the most talented fighters in the sport, but it's just whether he's got the hunger and desire to want to do this. He's accomplished almost everything that he's ever wanted to accomplish in his career. Ironically, him losing to Sandor Martin, both of them have got similar record. Sandor Martin is 40 wins with 2 losses, and now Mikey Garcia is 40 wins with 2 losses. Obviously, Mikey Garcia has fought a much higher level of opposition, has accomplished a lot more, and is a four division champion. But it's a great thing to see, just to see Sandor Martin finally get some credit, because for the longest time he's been kind of underrated, and not a lot of people gave him credit. The fact that he was such a heavy underdog against Mikey Garcia says a lot, and he clearly won the fight. But do I think he could beat the elites of the division? I think it depends on the style that he fights, but I think he does give a lot of them problems, because he's a slick fighter, and on top of that, he's very skilled, and he's a veteran in his own right. Like, he's had 40 fights. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Tell me your opinion. Where do you think Mikey Garcia goes from here, and where do you think Sandor Martin goes from here? Do you think he's going to continue campaigning and maybe he could get a fight against one of the top dogs in the division, or do you think maybe he should think about it's a very difficult thing to say, because Sandor Martin's in a precarious position, because he's in a position where he's probably seen as high risk and low reward at this point. After he beat Mikey Garcia, a lot of fighters in his division are probably like, nah, hell no, we don't want to fight that guy, man. Like, he's just too good, and we don't get much for beating him anyway. But it'll be fun to see where his career goes from here. And obviously, Mikey Garcia, he's already had a Hall of Fame career, but it's going to be fun to see whether he could gain back his edge again and win in his next fight. But yeah, that's just my opinion on this fight. Tell me your opinion, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content for coming your way. Peace out.